How can something so beautiful cause so much pain? Today, we'll dive into a story that's more than just a fandom rumor. A story about two hearts that grew together, that endured through storms of public opinion, and perhaps about a love that needs no words to be understood. Welcome back to Jikook Moments, where we look not only at what the camera shows, but at what the heart feels. There's something strange in the air lately, something that has made the digital space of ARMY, the world's largest fandom, feel heavier than usual. Amid the flood of edited videos, conspiracy theories, and long social media threads, a certain unease lingers. Not because of bad news, but because of something that should be beautiful: the closeness between Jimin and Jungkook. But in a world that ignites debates so easily, even love can be turned into a weapon. For many BTS fans, the bond between Jimin and Jungkook, two people who have grown together from teenage trainees to global icons, is a story of silent understanding. But for others, that closeness is seen as a threat to a narrative they've long held onto. And that's where the problem begins. In recent months, a portion of ARMY, especially a group calling themselves Taekookers, has continued to attack Jimin with cruel comments, slander, and even digital harassment. The reason is simple, yet absurd, because Jimin is too close to Jungkook. Every time they appear in a video, every time their gazes meet, the internet explodes. Not in awe, but in endless debate. Some accuse them of fan service, others call it a marketing strategy, and ironically, those same people suddenly become champions of truth when it comes to similar interactions between Jungkook and Taeyoung. This double standard has become a pattern, denying what's real while glorifying what's imagined. In many cases, moments that clearly show Jimin and Jungkook's intimacy are twisted into something else, while ordinary interactions between Jungkook and other members are celebrated as proof of true love. Such narratives spread wildly through forums, fanbase accounts, and even AI-edited videos presented as if they were facts. We live in an age where truth can be engineered in seconds. With just a few clicks, context can be erased, expressions manipulated, and reality rewritten. And that's exactly what's happening to Jimin and Jungkook right now. Many of the contents attacking them turn out to be digitally altered, videos edited to create a certain impression. In one montage, Jimin is artificially paired with a woman. In another, Jungkook appears to pull away. All are produced with the same intent: to plant doubt, distort perception, and preserve outdated fantasies. Ironically, some fans now trust algorithm-generated clips more than genuine human expressions. Yet the most honest proof of any relationship lies in the little things: a gaze that lingers a second too long, a smile that appears without reason, or a silence that feels safe. Those who have followed BTS from the start know this. Jimin and Jungkook share a unique rhythm. From grueling practices in cramped dorms to grand world stages, they have always seemed in sync. In every BTS documentary, in every Bangtan Bomb clip, there's a subtle thread that connects them, not in a fanfiction sense, but in the authenticity of a friendship that has deepened over time. But in South Korea's still conservative entertainment industry, where heteronormativity remains the unspoken rule, showing affection towards someone of the same gender is never easy. Every move they make is analyzed, every interaction scrutinized as if it were evidence in a courtroom. And each time they appear too close, a storm of comments follows, some filled with curiosity, others with hate. Yet through it all, Jimin and Jungkook continue to walk side by side. Not always in front of cameras, not always in embraces or laughter, but in quiet understanding, even when the world fails to understand them. There are moments only those who see with their hearts can grasp. When the camera catches Jungkook instinctively looking for Jimin in a crowd. When Jimin laughs backstage and Jungkook watches him with eyes too soft to be called just friendly. That's not acting, not a script. It's the natural rhythm of two souls who have shared too much of life together. In a world obsessed with validation, their closeness feels bold because it's simple. No declarations of love, no public confessions, just a quiet consistency that doesn't need proof to be real. Some fans may feel frustrated that they've been appearing together less often lately. But love doesn't always need to be seen to exist. Sometimes, the strongest kind is the one protected from public eyes. not out of shame, but to preserve what's precious. We often forget that idols are human. They're not fictional characters who exist to fulfill fandom fantasies. They have private lives, room to breathe, and the right to love whomever they choose. Behind the spotlight lies a heavy burden, the pressure to always be perfect, to avoid mistakes in the public eye, even in matters of the heart. South Korea still stigmatizes same-sex relationships, and in an industry as massive as K-pop, the courage to love freely can be an act of quiet rebellion. Yet what Jimin and Jungkook embody isn't defiance through noise, it's resistance through authenticity. They don't deny, but they don't perform either. They simply are, existing in their own space built on trust, understanding, and loyalty. It's heartbreaking when the affection between two people becomes a target of hate. Some fans who claim to love BTS have fallen into a toxic cycle, projecting their fantasies, then lashing out when reality doesn't match. Fandom, at its core, was meant to be a community built on admiration. But in the digital age, the line between admiration and obsession grows dangerously thin. When fans feel entitled to dictate their idols' personal lives, empathy slowly fades. They demand proof, spin narratives, even rewrite someone else's love story to satisfy their own imagination. But like all fantasies, sooner or later, reality breaks through. In the end, authenticity needs no defense. It speaks for itself, in a language only two connected hearts can understand. Jimin remains Jimin, gentle, sincere, profoundly human. Jungkook remains Jungkook, protective, attentive, and honest in his quiet ways. They don't need to say anything to make the world believe, because every gesture already does. Their silence isn't distance, it's a safe space they've built together. A place where love can breathe without proof, where they can be themselves without fear of judgment. Maybe it's time for parts of the fandom to stop looking with curiosity and start seeing with empathy. Because love, in any form, doesn't need public validation. It only needs acceptance. The world may keep debating, theories may continue to emerge, and algorithms will always try to rewrite reality. But one thing remains unchanged. The connection between Jimin and Jungkook cannot be faked. They don't need defending. They don't need to clarify. Because love, in its purest form, speaks through the smallest things. A held gaze, an honest smile, a silence that feels like home. We may never know everything, and perhaps we're not meant to. Because some of the most beautiful stories are meant to be felt, not dissected. So before you hit that comment button, take a moment. Don't look with your eyes, look with your heart. Because in a world full of noise, Jimin and Jungkook have chosen silence. And in that silence, they speak the loudest. That true love doesn't always need to be shown. Sometimes, it just exists. Thank you for watching Jikook Moments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next story, because behind every smile they share, there's always a story left untold.